lane, I think, is on the cusp of getting some volatility and getting some, really kind of movement going for themselves. We're starting to see Rise explode onto the scene. Like there was that post on Reddit. It was like 3 weeks ago now, I think, talking, or actually it might have been even longer than that, where they were talking about like Rise doesn't have any good itemization options. And now within the last week or two, he's exploded. He's been everywhere. He's been in the LEC, LPL, hasn't been on the LCK yet because I think they just started back up. Or no, flip flop those. LPL started this week, LCK started last week. But it's everywhere now. People are playing it out of their minds. It does so much damage on its current build path, and it's kind of forcing a meta development in the mid lane and in the jungle because everything's been being banned away. Udyr obviously off the table, Kha'Zix and Volibear being taken away as well. The Volibear I think is more of a top lane pick at the moment, heading into the boomers, but it's still a pretty good jungler.
Yeah, so the only interesting thing to me here is Orbital Chrome opting to ban away the Udyr and then first pick Senna. Senna obviously a very, very strong marksman, really hasn't been touched at all in 11.4, so should be just fine operating at maximum efficiency. But teams often like to force out an Udyr ban, right? Udyr is such a disgusting champion that you have to ban it on red side, but they opt to first ban it in this game. So obviously something Orbital Chrome have come up with. WYO Boomers, though, immediately respond to the AD carry with an Ashe selection. I fully expect a Tahm Kench regardless, though.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've had this discussion last week, Doctor.
Yeah, and it doesn't get better because the LEC was still playing it this last week, but they're behind us a patch, so it is different, sort of. Farm Kench has obviously been in the scene, but I think something that's even better that I think you should play if given the option is the Scion Senna, because you can do so many funky things by comboing the trap from Senna with the roar of the Scion and just create a lot of awkward situations that if you pair with a diver, with a heavy tank jungler or something like that, you can really exploit just the way the game works. So you still get a hard carrying melee tank in the form of Scion, who we've been seeing go lethality since 2 patches ago, which has been problematic for my solo queue games, but it is quite nutty when you actually see it work out quite nicely. So Orbital Chrome, if you're listening, don't pick Kench, pick Scion. And unfortunately, the message has reached you too late because you picked Karma.
Yeah, this is actually interesting. I don't believe this is a flex unless I haven't done enough research, but Orbital Chrome don't really often put a solo lane supportive style champ. /Div really only playing those control mages, so just should be Karma in support, but there is a possibility for flex, although this Echo basically will be going jungle. That is confirmed for Orbital Chrome. Not really going to go anywhere else. It will be matching the Hecarim, which has been a powerful champion in Summoner's Rift. And if you can get onto Senna, you can one-shot the AD carry. There's no Tahm Kench to swallow you and save her in your belly, so it should be pretty easy. But Lulu picked up as well for WYO Boomers as we head into second phase bans.
Boomers have somehow gotten themselves in a just remarkably strong bottom lane here. Tons of poke between the Ashe Lulu. Lulu was, soft reworked a couple patches ago. Incredibly strong champion now with the way her glitter lances work, and it's a strong bot lane. But I wanted to get to it first because I think Orbital Chrome have done something very interesting in that they've gone for a double, call it enchanter bottom lane, right? Obviously, Senna's going to be building the Kraken Slayer into just damage, but because of the heal, because of the sustain and everything else that Senna brings to the lane is incredibly healthy. Any damage that is, mitigated by the Karma Shield, amazing. You don't take the damage, you don't have to worry about it. If something does get through the Karma Shield, you just heal it right back up with the Senna. So very, very safe lane. They're going to be farming very easily. They're not going to have a lot to worry about. I think even if the Hecarim does come down, the biggest threat at that point would be if he has just an uber flank and knocks them all the way back into the middle of the lane. But they should have relatively strong positions and not really have to worry about much. And as we head into the second ban phase here, Gnar, Wukong, Galio, and the Malphite. So they're targeting both the top lane and a little bit of that support role with the Galio. And the Galio might actually signal that it is an Echo mid, because that is a very bad matchup for Echo.
Yeah, technically it could be. I still fully expect the Echo jungle as it was counterpicked, but Regardless, Orbital Chrome will have to reveal their cards now. Shen will be matching the Ornn in the top lane. You can only imagine there's technically a universe where the Shen can go jungle, but I highly, highly doubt it. Haven't seen that one in a very long time. WYO Boomers, though, yeah, sure, why not? Fasting Senna with Shen, maybe that would suit your bill a little better, Doctor. But I really like the pressure that WYO Boomers are putting on this top laner. Getting a lot of these picks out, the Wukong, the Gnar, that EDC 2021 LoW has been performing so well on. The Sylas will be picked up as well. That is almost certainly going to be going mid lane, Shen top, Karma support. So we will not get fasting this time around.
Good.
We'll get farming, as yes, it is better for you. Last pick of the draft, though, 5 seconds for WYO Boomers to go ahead and lock this one in, and it will be the Control Mage in Orianna.
Great pick. It combos very nicely with the rest of the team. It helps keeps the Ashe safe. It powers their engage by having both the dissonance and the shockwave to either get Hecarim into the fray and then blow everybody up. Just it's a strong pick. It's perfect pick. Orianna, one of the champions that is able to go blind, able to go counter, just exists in perpetuality and is always going to be relevant in the meta. And if you can build a composition that it just slots right into, you got a good draft. The Boomers are looking real strong here. Ashe, Hecarim, Lulu, Ornn, Orianna, and we're talking about Palm Goat here on these very stylistic carries like the Kai'Sa, like the Vayne, stuff like that. This time they just have an easy one. They just have to press volley a bunch of times. Once they hit 6 on cooldown, just send out the enchanted crystal arrow. Because of how squishy the rest of the map is here on the side of Orbital Chrome, it's free real estate. They don't have to do anything. They just do whatever they want. Even post 6 Shen. I don't think Gita Carry 2021 has a whole lot going for him. You stand united in once, but the cooldown on the enchanted crystal arrow was a heck of a lot less.
Yeah, and WYO Boomers have so much range on their engage, right? You get the Asho, which is literally global. Yeah, I mean, it's global beyond that even. Hecarim, a big unstoppable onslaught of shadows, could come in really at any time. The Ornn Horn and the ball delivery with any of the tools listed above, specifically the Hecarim, can provide you that engage. And when you start layering this crowd control, Orbital Chrome are going to need cleanse. They're going to need QSS. And you don't have a Tahm Kench to save you, right? Orbital Chrome assisted is all on your Lonesome. Yeah, you got a Karma shield, but without Karma having any gold, she's just a support. It's gonna only negate maybe a 1 ability or so. So Orbital Chrome really have to be careful to watch out for this engage, or things can get really, really messy.
They do kind of thrive in messiness, though, I think, at a certain point in the game. Not for the first 20, 25 minutes or so. They're going to be very static, very locked into what they're trying to do. But once the Senna gets 2-3 items, once the Karma gets both the Staff of Flowing Water and the Moonstone Renewer, they're online. The Echo can just cause a lot of chaos between, diving in with the Parallel Convergence and then Chrono shifting out. Like, all of these types of different shenanigans can be very confusing to, the player. And then Sylas being able to steal away all these ultimates and then also having a little bit of a bonus ratio to them is incredibly scary as well. I mean, if anybody has played the game long enough, they've been hit by the 100% AP Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It just got in one shot, whether it was in an Aram or on Summoner's Rift. That thing hurts. So Sylas had a really great setup for a lot of the game up even before the Orianna. So now heading into things, the Orbital Chrome, they just got to survive, right? Like, they're hunkered down in their safety bunker. The apocalypse is happening all around them. But if they just wait long enough, they will become incredibly jacked and they'll be able to come out and just start laying waste to whatever's waiting for them outside.
Yeah, it's a dirty, dirty S word that us as analysts never like to talk about, but it's scaling, right? All you need to do is wait for items to break. You need Derikos on this Echo to hit 2, maybe even 3 items. You need Senna to get souls along with items, because fasting is not the choice here for assisted, not really on the soul game part of things. You really need to just get the straight up gold. for the Senna. Slash Div needs to hit 2 items as well. Past that, Silas really has problems. So there is a very specific point in time where Orbital Chrome have control over this game. They need to pick out that point in time and then explode this game when it comes time to actually execute. But because these teams are looking for objectives, because you have this global presence in the Shen, and then the Hecarim presence, Ornn, Ashe, and things like that, we could see fights all across the Rift and then dynamically changing objective priorities because of it. So I think our casters are going to have a really, really nice time breaking down this game, and I'm really curious where we're headed, because I think these teams could play around just about anything they want.
Oh, it's going to be so bloody. We're going to have like 20 kills by 10 minutes. It's just going to be absolutely nuts, because I mean, they all want the same thing. They want the objectives, they want the bloodbath, they want that scaling for themselves, and they have the teams to do it. Echo is not as amazing at it as the Hecarim, and it hurts me to say that, but Hecarim will have a bit of an advantage here. Echo, even with his buffs to his jungling role, can still struggle quite a bit getting around and getting then into the lane. He does have lane support when it comes to crowd control, but his damage early on will definitely be lacking because, you know, the Sylas, not incredibly strong early in the game. Shen obviously does have some oomph behind his empowered attacks, but you only get 3 of those. And then, you know, Senna Karma, they're strong for about 3 levels, and then they kind of peter out a little bit. So Hecarim can just dive you and kill you all by himself, it seems.
With Spectator delay counting down, Orbital Chrome looking to turn things around here in Excellency Heavy League. WYO Boomers looking to put a stop to their attempt. Take your predictions in chat. Whose draft is better and who will win on the night in our best of 2. That's it for us on the analyst desk for now. In just about a minute, you'll be greeted by our lovely casters, Juicebox, Sky, and DJ, to bring it to you live. We'll be back then.
Welcome to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juicebox Guy. Joining me to break this one down for you is DJ, and a huge thank you to our absolutely dapper analysts for giving us the the prerequisites to getting into this bad boy. And me and DJ, we were talking about the drafts before this game starts, and I think we're on different pages here. I definitely prefer blue side over for Orbital Chrome's draft, and DJ's more on the WYO Boomers team here.
Yeah, I do think red side got a lot of advantages in this draft in terms of pure power, at least in the current metagame. I do think they have a pretty focused composition that knows what it wants to do. It has good ball delivery systems and very nice long-range engage, as Necrox mentioned. However, I think it's better. I think a good way to put it is something that Trivia Boy said in chat. It's sort of a 70-30 draft, but there is a lot of comfort on the side of Orbital here alongside this Senna, which is very strong. And I'm very interested to see how the Senna Karma lane goes, because they have a lot of priority in the lane. They have a lot of power, they have a lot of range, and they could really mess up Palm Goat and Birdman if it isn't played appropriately. And the other thing I want to highlight here is Derikos really likes to play this Echo jungle. He likes to be aggressive, get in there early and often. So if he can set up some plays with Slash Div or ADC in the top side, this could snowball out of control. And with the healing and shielding available for this team, it's very possible that it becomes too hard to kill anyone on the side of Orbital Chrome.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Orbital Chrome can really take the fight over to the WYO Boomers. And you have to remember, Orbital Chrome did 2-0 WYO Boomers like 2 weeks ago, right? Like, they've already proven that they can beat these guys. And they have a draft to do it with. You say 70-30. Well, I actually give it 55-45 over to Chrome. I really do enjoy the way that their composition sort of works. You know, you look over at the Boomers, they have a very front-to-back team fight-oriented composition. That can be really good. But who do they have that's really going to match Slash Div on on the side lane pressure, or Derikos on the side lane pressure, outside of maybe Rosero? And I don't even think that that's a straight up win once you get past like the 22 to 25 minute mark. You know, that Hecarim damage will fall off. And, you know, as WYO Boomers slowly do get outscaled, the Ashe has to sit still and put out damage. So, yeah, she's strong, but no, she won't be able to sit still and put out damage with Derikos and Slash Div gunning for Palm Goat this entire time. I do think that the Orbital Chrome side has got a very strong team fight and the split push to match.
Yeah, I think the split push in particular could be a little bit tricky for the likes of WYO Boomers to answer the later this one goes in the game. It does require Slash Div and Derikos to likely get ahead in their matchups. An Echo without a lead, without items, just is not going to be on the side lane. A Silas will always be a little tricky in a side lane because you have that outplay potential. And there really isn't a second champion here. Assisted in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Palm Goat is, he's really putting down the damage right now. Assisted already looking pretty bad for Wear, but Derikos rocking that Dark Harvest is over in this Tribe Rush. You can see Hecarim, though, making the first move into the mid lane. There's the knockback onto Slash Div. He's trying to survive. No chance out, though, and to boot, the bot lane gank failed. This could not be worse so far. 4 minutes into the game, 700 gold already. That is kind of outrageous. As Derikos, he's desperate to make something happen. He's almost got the Dark Harvest stack. He's just shy of it, though. And I don't even think that the Q thrown back would get it for him. So, yeah, that is an unfortunate series of events there for this Orbital Chrome team.
Yeah, unfortunate for Orbital, but a very nice start from the side of WYO Boomers. They see the opportunity in mid lane. I believe that wave was pushing away from Slash if he had to make something happen to get it back under his control. Did it at the wrong time. It's good communication between Trinity and the jungler Rosero there to get that early gank. And, you know, we've highlighted it in the pre-show as well. This bottom lane is the best performing bottom lane in the league stats-wise. They have the most kills, the most assists. And when they win the game, it's typically because this bot side is absolutely massive, usually alongside some support from Rosero and some help from Trinity. But they are been absolutely huge, and they absorb the gank while their team gets ahead without even burning a summoner in the bottom side. And now there's a return gank.
Yeah, this could be horrible for Slash Div. Getting down 0-2 early is tragedy. One more Q should do it. Trinity gonna grab her second kill of the game. Trinity is popping off so far with the help of the Hecarim. And when you're playing mid lane and you get ganked on repeat like a skipping iPod, there is no worse feeling, especially on a champion that does need to get rolling to be useful.
Yeah, but we talked about it. You know, I think Doctor mentioned this on the analyst desk. It's a bit of a rough early laning phase for the Sylas because he's a melee champion. It's always going to give Trinity control of the wave on this Orianna, and control is just the name of the game for Trinity. You can see that wave still frozen in front of the Orianna's turret at the moment, just autoing away, not even using abilities on the wave. It puts Slashdip in such an awkward position. It makes the gank so easy for Rosero. It's just a pop, skip, and a jump, and tries to flash away from the second one, but it's an easy flash follow, and that has given a huge early game lead here to the side of WYO Boomers. But nice response coming out from the likes of Orbital Chrome to take something from the side of the map that they're really losing on.
Yeah, and that's the danger when you freeze your wave. Trinity, yeah, definitely getting the upper hand on the Sylas. You know, he's really struggling in the farming, already down 11, but you don't have that mid lane prio to go and try to stop a dragon take. You can't really get in there and help your Hecarim, help your bottom lane, try to get that big objective. And it kind of plays right into the hands of Orbital Chrome because they want to get to the late game. They want to get the dragon stacked anyway, because that is their biggest win condition. You know, the later this goes, the more damage Slash Div and Derikos are gonna manage to do. Slap fight in the top lane. You got him.
This is actually an interesting priority coming out from the side of Orbital. It may just be in response to the game that's going on and the freezing Orianna that you mentioned, but actually statistically, this team has not prioritized the first Drake a lot this season. I think they're on 33% or so early first Drake priority. Their main priority has been on the Rift Herald. They were something like 56% on the first Rift Herald, which is actually above a couple of the teams above them in the table. So it's clearly something the team has prioritized. But hold on, here is Papa Francesco likely just going to walk away from this one, and he will. You know, when a new jungler comes in like Derikos has for this team, you may find a change in priority for these objectives, and I'll be interested to see if that priority does continue and if we see a bit of a different strategy coming out from Orbital as they make this critical playoff push in these 4 games today.
Yeah, this is going to be a really big stepping stone. And, oh, actually, hold up. Teleport from the Ornn. They want this play onto Nelson and assisted. And Sesko forces out the flash from Nelson. Teleport channeling for the Shin. The Stand United got canceled earlier. Didn't even see it as ADC 2021 onto Pomgold. Pomgold has to flash away now with just a sliver of health. Ornhorn stolen away from the Sylas. A little bit of your own medicine there, Francesco, but huge shot. That was massive. ADC able to trade one back, gets the shot down onto the Orianna, but he will be shredded down by the Ashe, who has the Rangers focus stacks. Birdman under the tower, he is able to sneak away. And a big team fight win. I looked up for just a second for Chrome, but the underdog team just came crashing back down to earth real quick.
Yeah, it's a 3-for-1 in favor of WYO Boomers. And yeah, like you said, that fight actually looked like it might have gone Orbital Chrome's way for a second. They were kiting out well, assisted staying alive by the skin of his teeth, courtesy of Slashdiv's stolen Ornn ulti. I think Derikos should just be able to walk away from this.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Slashdiv has arrived. Yeah. Oh, but what a gets into the resonance and stuns up Rosero. You, sir, have gotten too big for your britches. That is a great kill response. Echo finally getting a little something going his way.
All right, that was pretty sick there from Derikos. It looked like he was going to go down. It looked like he was in trouble. The shield come out, and he just turns that one around. Nice cleanup on the end there, but still will be a pretty big deficit for the side of Orbital. They have some work to do after dropping that bottom lane fight. And I was just going to get to it before that mid lane action happened, but it looked good for Chrome up until the point that Trinity entered the fight in that bottom side, hit a 3-man shockwave, and was already pretty accelerated. You know, Trinity had 2 kills in his back pocket already. He had the Lost Chapter, and that Shockwave just changed the entirety of that fight, turning it completely in WYO Boomer's favor. Now we'll have to see if Derricos can make some more plays like that to try to slow Rosero and the rest of WYO Boomers down and get themselves back into this game where they do trail by 2K gold at the moment.
Yeah, not the end of the world for Orbital Chrome, but certainly the first sign of apocalypse. They are down in gold. They do have that dragon advantage, but it's gonna be, hard for them to get in on the second one without making a really good bottom side play here. There's the arrow onto assisted Onslaught of Shadows to follow up, and he is gone. He is just obliterated from the map. There used to be a Senna there, and there isn't one anymore.
Yep, absolutely vanished. Back into Thresh's Lantern, maybe. Was the Senna going real quick there as in comes one of the other Shadow Isles champ. That Onslaught of Shadows into the E was really, really strong from Rosero. It's a lovely setup from WYO Boomers. They get the Ash Arrow out. They get the perfect setup for the follow-up by Hecarim. But, Palm Goat.
No flash on Palm Goat means Palm Goat is dead, put out to pasture. And hey,
oh no, Derricos, no!
The ultimate, he needs to get it off. Unable to do so through the polymorph, through the knockup from the Wild Growth. ADC 2021 gonna drop as well. 3-man root is good, but it is not good enough. /Div does have the Onslaught of Shadows. But that is a scary trio to try to ult into.
Oh, that's just so sad. And it's right as the dragon spawns, and this is just going to delay any possible dragon stacking from Orbital, who now find that potential win condition delayed by 5 more minutes. And they're making some good plays to try to respond to the Boomers. They catch Palm Goat out, and a bit of an interesting position there for Palm Goat, who maybe just getting a little bit greedy, trying to pick up some waves. They catch him out, but then Boomers just find a way to turn it around again. They set up a nice little death bush. Derricos just walks right into it, and then I think ADC wanted to try to help. He got the, he's a nice guy in top lane. He's playing that supportive shit. He wants to go save his jungler, but he was already over at that point, and instead of being 1, it ends up being 2 as Trinity Shockwave is on target once again.
Yeah, no, these Shockwaves have been absolutely lethal, and even though the fight hasn't been insane up here between 2021 and Francesco, there's a gank attempt, but that's an Ornn. Yeah, you got the flash, that's awesome, but I would rather see Derricos try to make an impact somewhere else on the map. I mean, killing an Ornn is a really heavy task.
Yeah, it can be a heavy task. If you can stack a big enough wave, I think a dive is still a plausible thing. You have enough CC between those 2 champions to interrupt his ulti, so that it's not as hard to take him down, but it would require some good coordination on that top side. The unfortunate reality here, Juicebox, is I think it might be their only option. Trinity is 4-1-3 on this Orianna, already has the Mythic completed in the Luden's Tempest to an 0-3-2 Sylas that's just got Lost Chapter. I don't know if you want that smoke. And then in bottom lane, hold on here. We got it all in and top.
Hey, that was a great taunt, but it is not going to be nearly enough. Shin paying for the sins of the former transgression against Papa Francesco. He's like, oh, you got a jungler? That's cool. I got one too. Brings up the Hecarim, and that is another kill grabbed up for the side of the WYO Boomers. And I don't know, this one might be out of hand.
Yeah, it's sort of running away from Orbital as Papa Francesco gives ADC his blessings as he sends him back to the fountain and the gray screen there. But, we were just talking about how top lane might be their only option to gank because of the strength of Trinity. Well, bot lane's pretty strong too. This is a 30 CS difference between the Ashe and the Senna at the moment. And I know those champions can just stay alive and poke from range, but when you're already 900, 1,000 gold down in the ADC position up against an Ashe Lulu who will have more sustained damage in a longer fight, it just doesn't seem like a very juicy option to gank. So the Ornn really your only option. And now even in top side, you find the Shen trailing by 10 CS and still doesn't have that mythic item, which the Ornn and Papa Francesco up there has just completed in the Sunfire Aegis. So I just don't really see where Derricos could even be looking right now to gank on this Echo. And that's something you have to do on an Echo if you want to stay relevant in the game.
Yeah, no, he's got his work cut out for him. And, I think that we just saw Rosero being more proactive with the team early on in this game. That has been one of the main cascading issues for Orbital Chrome. Yes, it's a new jungler. Yeah, maybe the synergy and the trust isn't there yet. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go on a pick like the Echo, just like you said, you have to get involved. You have to make the action happen. That 5-man fight on the bottom side for WYO Boomers only had 4 members for Orbital Chrome. That was a 4v5 the whole time, and Orbital Chrome looked fairly close to winning it. And Derricos was farming the mid lane. It just shows a real lack of cohesion.
Yeah, a bit of a mix up there in that fight. And yeah, like you said, almost able to come out on top. But yeah, Trinity's ultimate just changing the nature of that fight. And I really doubt they're going to get another even fight like that. They're already down 6K gold at 15, 16 minutes here. They have that Drake win condition slowed down. And I think we talked about it, as much as the side of Orbital Chrome can side lane effectively, they have to be strong enough to do so.
Right.
And as we get later in this game and the big objectives come up, they may have to team fight, and I don't think they're winning these team fights, Juicebox.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good. And they're not even winning the Vision War, which is normally something that just happens when you fall behind in gold. You can't really walk forward to put the wards down, but that's exactly what they need to try to do in order to get some sort of grip on this game again. You need to start looking for some alternative strategies. Throw it assisted in the mid lane. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I do like that they're trying something, but it's working whatsoever. Assisted is it's just gone. I mean, Senna is having a rough go of it. 2 immobile 80 carries, and only one's getting punished for it. That just seems to be the moral of the story here. He's going to try for the Dragon Steel. Does not quite get in, but is able to get out. So that's better than nothing.
Yeah, I like the effort. I think you need to start making those kind of plays. It is a little bit of desperation trying for that steal, but the way this game is going, 3-10 in kill score, trailing by 7K gold, and it's going to be more here as the mid lane turret will fall to this Rift Herald. You got to make stuff like that happen, and I do like the execution on the play. They managed to get their jungler out, but unfortunate that they could not get the Drake. But yeah, Orbital have to make these kind of plays if they want any chance to remain in this game, because it is quickly just sliding away from them, and WYO Boomers taking over every part of the map.
Yeah, I definitely don't know what the character's name was in Mulan, where the arrow slipped right through his fingers. I don't know if you remember that specific scene, but definitely Orbital Chrome reminding me of that is ADC 2021. He gets the ultimate from the Senna, but he's got a long lane ahead of him. Fortunately, Hecarim and the Ornn here not too bloodthirsty for the time being.
Yeah, not too bloodthirsty. There's not a lot on the map to fight over at the moment. The Baron's still 1 minute and 45 away. The next Drake's still 3 minutes and 45 seconds away. So not a whole lot to really be overextending for. Can just go back to clearing jungle, setting up some vision. You can see Birdman doing a nice job here, clearing out this top river vision. And yeah, he didn't kill it. Birdman, you got another control word in there, Birdman? Where's that inventory? He's got one. Why did you put it down?
He's got 2. Don't be stingy. That's what you're going for.
Your literal job is to buy control words. Pull it down.
Well, he's not going to throw one of his own down, but he is going to help Palm Goat get a control ward of his own. Happy bees all around, and that is just a merry duo at the moment. VT Nelson and Assisted, they have just kind of... I can't even really say it's their fault. It's more as just a team. They have fallen so far behind in this bot lane. Senna's one of the most heavy scaling 80 carries, if not the most heavy scaling 80 carry in the game. She doesn't have the assassin potential that a Kai'Sa brings to the table, but still, she will basically beat almost any 80 carry in a 1v1, getting late enough into the game. But they are so far from that moment, and I don't know if they're ever going to get there. All she's got is a Kraken Slayer completed with a Rage Knife, so on her way, but boy is the road long. Meanwhile, Ash is just living it up 50 CS. He's already got a full set of boots. Agility cloak to boot as well. I mean, it is just luxury over here for Bomb Goat and Birdman.
Yeah, complete luxury. And we mentioned it. This is the best performing bot lane in the league, and they've done it once again. Not really reflecting it in the kill score, but you picked an Ashe. It's a bit of a more supportive setup 80 carry, and it's done its job perfectly. Multiple long range arrows landing onto assisted, dooming that Senna to go back to Thresh's Lantern, back to the Fountain. The setup's been great. The kiting's been great. They've been able to get out of multiple ganks and just been exceptional for their team once again. Now doing their work, getting the vision down, trying to steal away these camps. But we might see a full fight here.
Wild growth used on Trinity, and Trinity is gone. Shockwave never got off. Teleport is channeling for Papa Francesco. Rosero able to grab one on the backside here. Slash div. Great route there onto Rosero. Rosero has no ultimate. He just now used the ghost, so he will be able to giddy up away. But finally, a little bit of breathing room. And with the dragon spawning in a minute, this is Orbital Chrome's opportunity to try to get some vision down, to try to clean some vision up. They need to make this count.
Yeah, they do need to make this count. It's the first real slip-up we've seen from WYO Boomers in this game, getting a little greedy, trying to steal away the enemy red buff as they establish vision. Fortunate for them that there's really nothing up on the map that's able to be taken. As you mentioned, they could have gone straight to the Baron, but you really need an 80 carry to be able to burn down that Baron. And yeah, the Senna just on the Kraken Slayer, probably not going to be just enough to walk towards that Purple Worm and risk a team fight that would likely end the game entirely. So they will just have to go back to farming and prep themselves for this Drake in 30 seconds. But yeah, I don't think they're in any shape to be contesting this Drake, even after they took down Trinity and took the Flash.
Little bit of optimism from me, to be sure, but hey, this might go just a little bit better. Ornhorn used, and Shin is gone. Slash Div does have the Onslaught of Shadows. He uses it onto the Hecarim, but that's a double kill. It could be a triple kill for Rosero. Rosero trying to make himself a threatening present. Ash Arrow barely whiffs, and the hitbox on that thing is mighty janky sometimes, so that was probably a lot closer than it looked.
Yeah, that was probably a lot closer. I think that one almost hit. I think Sweat and Bullets there was assisted, and Derricos could have hit either one of them, but just able to keep that one away. Will result in the loss of that third Drake, though, as they were down their top laner, so unable to contest, and now sole point available for the WYO Boomers in 4 minutes, 45 seconds as they continue to push down these waves, try to extend that goal lead. It does still remain around 6K, so Orbital doing a nice job of keeping it at a reasonable gold amount, but still, they are just falling behind to the composition, and a massive, massive CS lead for Palm Goat as he continues to scale up with 2 items in this game.
Oh, that's so tragic for Derricos. The man just wants to clean a control ward. Come on. Yeah, finally getting in, bringing in the full power of a Shin. But, yeah, this is getting to desperate measures. Like you said, they have been able to stall out the game for a while, but you have to remember that the scaling isn't always in the gold when a team has Ornn. They're getting those upgraded items. They have the Eye of Luden, and it's just going to get worse from there. If this Orianna Shockwave hits assisted, combine that with a Dissonance, and that's a one-shot. Even Karma through a shield might get one-shotted, or at least put very close to it. So it's very dire straits for the time being.
Yeah, dire straits indeed. And I'm not sure where the final fight will come, whether it's going to be around the Baron or whether it's going to be around this Drake. The Senna getting close to 2 items, I think that's where you're fighting. If you can get Slash Div and assisted onto these 2 items, try to give them some strength before you go into that fight. That's probably your best bet, but they're going to have to fight one of these, because if you lose the Ocean Soul, I mean, what are you going to do? How are you going to cut through the healing that's already coming out of the likes of Rosero? 5-1-7 on this Hecarim. It's going to be so difficult to change up a build and try to fight. If you lose the Baron, you've already lost almost all of your... You've lost all your outer turrets. Well, your mid-inner turrets already chunked. It's just going to be a push into the base. So they're going to have to fight somewhere. We'll see where they pick and choose, but it is just slipping away, and they'll need those 2 items if they want to try and win the fight. We're getting pretty close. I think Papa Francesco's already upgraded himself, and now we're about to see the first ornament come in. It's going to be that Luden's Tempest getting upgraded for the likes of Trinity, and Eye of Luden now in. That is some scary stuff.
Yeah, no, that'll blow you up pretty dang quick. I do believe that you know, it's on Orbital Chrome to make something happen, though. Now look at that burst! Jericho's just almost one-shots Palm Goat, and now we have a Shin who's kind of stuck. Rosero getting blasted as well. There's the root. Shield does come out. Is it enough? Palm Goat managed to kill the Shin, and no, the Wild Growth, but huge ult. Palm Goat gets 2 ults on top of him, and he will die. That's a second one going down. The 2 exact carries you need to turn this game around. Birdman, Rosero, and Papa Francesco, they're playing scared, and they kind of have to. Now, what is Orbital Chrome going to do with this opportunity? Jungler's still up, so they can't quite Baron, but middle tower is going to be nice.
Derikos, you absolute madman. The damage on that Echo ultimate was absurd. It completely chunked out Palm Goat and helped to take down Trinity. And I think I saw it in chat. It was initially a Chad move from Trinity to not take Verdant Barrier into an AP mid jungle as a hold on here with the Ornn engage.
They don't have Trinity or Palm Goat here. This is a really odd decision. Papa Francesco, I mean, he's literally running it down mid right now. He is just charging henceforth towards the enemies. They are able to disengage. They got their tower. So they got 2 towers actually. So big influx of gold there. That is really nice for Orbital Chrome. But yes, Derikos coming out huge in that team fight, and they need more of that. And honestly, they probably wish they had gotten some of that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it was tricky. The fights were being played really well by Boomers, and I think they just overcommitted. I think they could sort of see the end in sight there, the Boomers, and like moths drawn to the light at the end of the tunnel, they all funneled into that little jungle corridor, and Derikos took his opportunity. He blew up the 2 carries with the ultimate, neither of whom, again, have that Verdant Barrier for the AP mid jungle, and that's particularly sinful from Trinity, I think, being a little bit greedy after a very strong start. Fortunately for WYO Boomers, they still have the opportunity to set up for this Soul Drake, and now they might have another death push.
Yeah, this is huge. Check the ball from Orianna, though, was sitting right in the middle of everybody. Decided not to pull the trigger on that one. Trinity, keep your eyes on this Orianna's ball. This could literally make or break the entire fight here. Has opportunities, but waiting for Rosero before he makes the move. Uses the distance to give the speed. Wild Growth already expended. That could be a big mistake, but Shin is already almost dead. Nice ultimate from Slash Div. A lot of damage there. Palm Goat gets the shield, gets the heal, and will just barely get this kill. Slash Div not able to make it happen there. Assisted, though, does manage to get a massive shutdown. That could be gigantic. Donning Shadows laid onto Papa Francesco. So yes, Ocean Soul has been taken, but what happens next?
No.
They could get the Baron off of this, depending on how they manage to play this next part of the fight. Assisted is pumping out damage, but Shin goes too far forward. That's a kill, and there's about to be 2 more to follow. We have entered the Carnival of Pain, folks, and Assisted has a front row seat getting blasted, and Trinity going to go with 1 tip of the hat before making their merry ways over to the Baron. Or maybe just the mid lane.
Yeah, they don't have a jungler. I think Jericho's just respawning and don't want to just run right over to that one and give a chance as we do see him coming up. Rosero just about to come back up, so without that jungle, don't want to be
Trinity.
too crazy. Trinity.
Oh, you can't be doing that, my dude. Nice shockwave to stay alive, but that shockwave is down, so that does give a very limited time frame for Orbital Chrome to try to get something done.
Hold on here. Jericho's he's in trouble.
Yes, he is. He is about a half an inch away from death. Oh, does it? Oh, gets the ult out of Ashe, though. That's kind of a win in a very small way. But he is just getting pummeled by the Hecarim / Div. Derrick's is like, good luck, dude. I'm out.
Yeah, a bit of a chaotic skirmish there, but /Div trying to help out his jungler gets a little too aggressive, finds himself in the middle of 4 members from WYO Boomers, now 5, and with that kill, that will signal the Baron for them. They are so far ahead, almost 3 items for Palm Goat, 2 completed items and boots for Trinity. They are so strong. They should take this for free. It looks like a little bit of posturing from the Karma, but going to be no threat on this Baron as they take it away, and they will reset for the final push of the game.
Ocean Soul is, it's just one of those game-breaking buffs if you can get it. I mean, on the bright side for Orbital Chrome, right, they have Derricos, they have Slash Div playing champions that can pop you, right? They will blow you up, even through an Ocean Soul. I mean, Ocean Soul is great for extended team fights. It's not great if you just get annihilated right off the bat, but because neither of them are doing particularly well in this game, I just don't really see that as being much of a possibility. I mean, Echo, yes, has tons of damage that they can output. They could just murder basically anybody, but there are shields for Trinity and Pop. Oh my gosh, that is one of those question mark, how did that hit me sort of situations. That is the Ash ult we were talking about earlier, and yeah, Slash Div already dead. 40-second death time as Derricos takes one QW from the Orianna and half health.
Yeah, we've all seen the memes of the Silas with the Ash ulti, but the shoe's on the other foot in this game, Juicebox. That arrow setting up the death of a Slash Div. It was a bit of a hitbox question mark there. Riot Games, small indie company, gonna help us out with that one, but with the mid laner down, this signals the death push for the side of WYO Boomers. Look at the damage that comes on the Derricos as the first turret falls. This will likely be the end of the game if they play the fight effectively, pushing in 2 lanes. They do need to wait for Papa Francesco to sync up a little bit, but with 1 inhibitor down, it is looking like the potential end for Orbital in game number 1.
Ocean Soul, they have a Baron, they got an inhibitor in the mid lane. I mean, what more does a team need to win a game? And are the glimmers of success have come through for Orbital Chrome, but there's been no big wins, right? There's been no like, okay, cool, we got this, now we can do something with it. It's just been some meaningless kills here and there. And outside of a double turret take, not a lot's happened. Well, yeah, those turrets are great, but now your base is falling to ribbons. You know, you won the fights at the wrong time, but the stun is massive. There's the ult on the Derricos. However, it is just a ton of damage coming out from the WYO Boomers. Everybody's getting murdered. Slaughter across the land. Shin dead. Slash Div dead. You know, Nelson's gone as well, Derricos. And now you have a very lonely Senna for once managing to survive one of these altercations. But it has been a nightmare scenario for the team, and WYO Boomers able to pick up their first win of the season against Orbital Chrome.
Yeah, give it a little kiss to the Chef Trinity there, just absolutely stuffing the final engage coming out from Orbital Chrome with another pinpoint shockwave. It's great team fighting from WYO Boomers. It's a beautifully executed push at the end of the game to close this one out. But of course, they did have a massive lead. Everything was in their favor. Everything coming up Boomers, and they will take game number 1 to win their first game against Orbital Chrome and finally get that monkey off their back.
Well done by them, and to explain exactly how well done it was, we are now going to throw it over to Netcrox and Doctor over on the analyst desk. So take it away, my friends, and tell them how WYO Boomers just gave Orbital Chrome the beatdown.